For mankind, Antarctica is a strange new continent. Since it was first discovered by humans in 1895, the ice-covered continent known as Antarctica has attracted scientists from all over the world. A considerable number of researchers and adventurers come here annually. In Antarctica, there are presently more than 50 major and small airports, and more than 30 countries have built more than 80 scientific research facilities. They want to spend $850 million building a new airport as part of their ambitious plans to explore Antarctica. Nobody, however, was prepared for Australia's adamant opposition to this plan. They believed that China had violated Australia's sovereignty over Antarctica. What truly happened after that? Thank you for watching our videos. The entire area of Antarctica's glaciers is approximately 1.4245 million square kilometers. Due to the dry air and limited precipitation on this pristine region, Antarctica has the lowest recorded temperature of 89.2 degrees Celsius, making it the coldest place on Earth. Long known as the White Desert, Antarctica, only about tons of the continent, which is continuously covered in ice and snow, is livable. However, since its discovery, Antarctica has become a popular destination for scientists from all over the world. Why is it the case? Antarctica may have the look of a glacier, but it is actually a rich source of valuable goods, such as oil and minerals. Based on data from current research with humans, more than 200 distinct kinds of natural resources may be found in Antarctica, including the world's first coal mine and iron ore reserves. The mineral resources that it stores are where you may find the world's most profitable iron-rich mines. To ensure the ethical use of resources in Antarctica, these resources are crucial for military, economic, and scientific study. The world will have access to these mineral riches for at least 200 years if mankind is able to exploit them in the future. All governments are prohibited from conducting military activities in Antarctica under a variety of treaties that the UN has created. As a result, the mining activities carried out by various countries in Antarctica are fairly limited. However, the legitimacy of this pact may only last until 2048. 52 countries have joined the treaty as of this writing, up from 12 at its inception. However, all countries in the globe after 2048 must have their eyes on the rich, enormous warehouse that is Antarctica, and they all want to exploit it first. Whoever country can take advantage of the opportunity they are currently will be able to gain a considerable amount of resources in the future in order to better research the numerous rich resources in Antarctica. Several nations have built airports and scientific research facilities in this area. By 2021, more than 30 different countries will have built airports and research sites in Antarctica. Additionally, there are over 50 airports and over 80 scientific research centers, including the United States, the world's most industrialized country, won't miss the opportunity to benefit from Antarctica's wealth. As a consequence, the United States currently possesses the most airports in Antarctica with a total of 13, followed by Russia with 8 airports. China's might has expanded dramatically in recent years, as has the standard of its scientific research. China consequently plans to start participating in the Antarctic research trip. Though it still lacks a permanent airport, China presently maintains 5 research stations in Antarctica. How to get people and supplies for scientific study here is a huge problem. Additionally, the Antarctic oceans are always covered with snow and ice. Using sea transportation is extremely difficult for China. As a result, it basically needs to melt the ice. Using air transportation is the simplest and quickest option. However, due to its harsh environment, the Antarctic region has very few airports. Only a very small number of goods and people can now fly to Antarctica. The majority still have to take a ship to get there. In the past, Chinese Antarctic explorers were only able to use Russian airports or research vessels. The exploration of Antarctica is impacted by this. Efficiency and the use of Russian airports are not permanent solutions. It seems sense that China doesn't want to lag behind other countries in this predicament. In order to build its own permanent airport in Antarctica, China finally pledged $850 million in a plan. In the Antarctic, large freight aircraft may take off and land on the airport runway, which has a design length of around 1,500 meters and a width of 80 meters. The specific location is near to the Junction Station. Australia protested to China's plans to build an airport in Antarctica because they believed China had violated their sovereignty there. What truly happened after that? The only country in the world with a continent-wide territory is Australia. In order to make greater use of resources, it is placed next to Antarctica and midway between the South Pacific and the Indian Oceans. Australia long ago boasted to the rest of the world that it controlled more than 42% of Antarctica. At the time, the international world did not acknowledge Australia's ownership claim to this region of the continent. The Davis Airport, which is situated exactly where China's airport is located in Antarctica, was initially intended to be built there by Australia in 1957, which is the main reason for this. Australia's current justification for doing so is that China has invaded its territorial integrity. In other words, Australia is doing this because of and as a direct and prompt effect of China's violation of its territorial sovereignty. Right away, China incited resentment in Australia. Is it true that China now has some of the land that makes up Australia under its control? In actuality, the whole population of the area disputes China's claim to any land at all. Any region is completely false. In 1959, the United Nations General Assembly approved the Antarctic Treaty. The rules of the agreement make it clear that humans should only undertake scientific research in Antarctica and are not permitted to engage in interhuman competition. They are acting aggressively. They are also forbidden from using any of the continent's resources. The Antarctic Treaty made it clear to everyone that Antarctica would belong to all of us collectively rather than to any particular country. When this agreement was initially being written, this was one of the key themes of the pact. One of the nations to express support for it was Australia. Given the resources and workforce required to complete such a project, each country in the world today has the ability to build its own research facilities as well as airports in Antarctica. That this is a reasonably equal arrangement should be obvious. There aren't many locations in Antarctica, though, where additional airports may be built to those in Russia and the United States. Despite the fact that Davis Airport was never really constructed, there has been a sharp decline in the number of desirable locations over the past 60 years. As a basis for maintaining this mentality, Australia persisted for a long time in maintaining the notion that it was creating itself. There is little doubt that this involves using a seat in some way. Australia may soon confront competition from airports that are owned by other countries, even if China does not build an airport nearby. This holds true. Even if China decides not to construct an airport there, China has thus not violated Australia's promise to keep Australia's promise to protect its territorial integrity in Antarctica. Despite this, Australia wants to continue occupying this region for an extended period of time, which is manifestly unfair. Nevertheless, due to the region's unusual climatic circumstances, China faced a lot of difficulties in building the airport in Antarctica. Construction workers must always be ready to react promptly to potentially dangerous situations, including unexpected downpours, ice and snow fractures, and falling debris. The westerly zone, which is noted for its fierce winds, and Antarctica's geographic location make construction work particularly difficult. In addition to being difficult to construct, the area's considerable snow cover makes it difficult for airplanes to take off or land due to a lack of available space. While facing a variety of different sorts of difficulties, the Chinese, on the other hand, are able to develop steadily and with confidence. Despite the fact that they encounter several challenges and barriers, this is the case. Construction on the airport is progressing, and it is predicted that it will be completed in 2023. One of my predictions on this issue is that China's scientific initiatives in Antarctica will continue to provide productive results in the years to come. Share your opinion in comments. Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking project.